I feel like I'm all serious. Welcome to part 3 of my scoliosis journey. It's been about a year since I uploaded, and I'm sorry, but life got in the way, laziness got in the way, but I'm now a year and a half from my scoliosis surgery, and I'm doing pretty good. But I'm not going to talk about how I'm doing now. I'm going to talk about what I went through in my experience with my spinal fusion. And if I remember correctly, I left off on I was in a meeting with the nurse, and she was kind of going over the pre-op procedures that they were going to do with me the next day. So it was January 27th, 2014, and my surgery was the following day, and the nurse was just running over everything they were going to do. And it was really, really rough. I started crying, and it's just so overwhelming. It is. There's no sugarcoating it. It's not fun. For me, I didn't have what I'm able to give people now. I didn't have, like a support system who had gone through what I was about to go through. I didn't know what I was in for. No clue, no idea at all. So now that there's so many networks, so many sources for support and prior knowledge, that you can go in a lot more equipped and knowledgeable about your experience before you even step into the hospital. On the other hand, for me, I didn't have any of that. So it was a lot more overwhelming than I assume it would be for some of you guys who are watching this right now. So she went over just all of the procedures they were going to do, and then, reality sets in. It starts getting real. But I knew that I would come out of this a lot stronger than I'd been before. I knew I would walk out straight. I'd have a couple titanium rods, and it kind of scared me at the same time because I wouldn't ever be the same again. I would be forever changed. I wouldn't be like anybody else. I had never been like the normal person in the sense that I had a curvy spine, but now I was going to have rods in my back. I felt like I was going to be half a robot or something, but it's good. It's good for you. And now I strut around with my spine at the pool. I wait for someone to ask me, "Oh, what's that scar on your back?" It's a cool story to share, and it's fun. I'm really proud of how far I've come. So, anyway, yeah, I keep on talking about my journey, and then I talk in hindsight, kind of perspective, so trail off a little bit. Apologies. So we walked out of the pre-op room, and then we did anesthesiology stuff, but I'm pretty sure I already touched on that in the previous video. What happened next? I think I just went home with my mom, and I went on a run for the last time for about 6 months, because I knew that would be the last time I would run for a very long time, and that my surgery would limit me from pretty much all physical activity except for, walking, for many, many months. So I went on a run at my church. They had a little path there, and my mom went with me, and it was kind of emotional. I had no clue what I was in for. Then I went to sleep that night. Could not sleep much at all. I think I got about 4 hours The good news is that when you put to sleep for your surgery, that you are going to be, out of it for a good 3-4 hours, so you get sleep then. I don't know. But yeah, I lay down in bed. I was staring at the ceiling. I could not fall asleep. I was so nervous, so anxious. And so I listened to meditation music, Beethoven, whatever I could listen to just put my mind at ease. And I finally went to sleep. Then when the morning came around, I had to wake up at about 5 o'clock too in order to get to the hospital in time for my surgery. It was tiring experience. But it'll be over before you know it. This is all leading up to the big grand finale of the straight spine. So I woke up and got in the car, got ready. I think I just put on some sweats and a t-shirt, hair in a sloppy bun. They prefer for your hair to be up during the procedure, and I packed a bag of some noises outside, of a few essentials that I might need in the hospital, but I didn't end up using them. I just sat on the bed for 3 days while I was there. Not very hygienic at all. So I went to the hospital, just mounting anxiety. I was a mess. But again, I hadn't had this support and love before. But hopefully what I'm giving you will prepare you guys for that, so you won't be as overwhelmed as I was. And so I got in the car, we drove to the hospital, and they let us into this little room for just to, strip down, put on the gown. And my dad was making me watch some of these funny, I think, Jimmy Fallon skits and videos just to calm down and have a little laugh. Didn't really work. My mind kept on wandering off, but yeah, it was just kind of like an out-of-body experience. I felt like I was on autopilot, just going through the motions, because it was so surreal that it was actually happening. A little sign popped up. So after that, the nurse came in and she gave me these cute little socks. They had like plastic treads on the bottom, so that way you don't fall after you wake up from the surgery, because you were a little dizzy kind of. So, and then they gave me what she called this happy juice. So just this little serum that you drink, and then all thoughts go away. You fall asleep within a few minutes of it. And apparently after I'd taken that juice, they took me down to the operating room, and they went through 2 hours of procedures, hooking up me to the nodes and anesthesiology stuff they had prepared me for the day before. And I was out of it for that entire time, so hopefully you guys will be too. I'm sure you will be. And then after the 2 hours of preparing, you have the surgery, and you know what goes on in that. I've seen videos of what happens. I'm not going to get too into it in case you guys don't want to know, because for me, I did not. They asked me if I wanted to hear what happens during the surgery, like all of the specifics, like after the incision, what they do. I was like, no. It feels like once I'm out of it, it's none of my business. I know it's my back that they're performing on and everything, but it felt like just too personal or like too serious, too real, and I didn't want it to be. So I didn't want to hear about it. Not even after. I was just like, it's behind me, let's move on. But I'm not going to say too much, but they do make the incision. They put the rods in. For some reason, for a while, I thought that like my spine was a rod now, like they took out some bone, but they don't do that. Um, but yeah, if you want to go watch some videos about what happens and see pictures of doctors operating during the surgery, go for it. But if you're a little, what's the word, sensitive to that kind of stuff, then don't. I kind of am, but I looked at it after my surgery, so I was kind of like, ooh, that happened during mine, wow. But then you wake up, you're in the ICU, you got tubes and IVs hooked up all over your body, and it's not very fun, but you're kind of still out of it. You're just coming out of the haze, and all your loved ones are there, family, friends. You've got a bunch of cards and balloons and teddy bears and blankets, and it's a good thing to that you have all of these support systems to lean on and to count on. And so I spent that first night in the ICU, and then for the next 3 nights, maybe it was 2, spent about 3 days all told in the hospital. They took me down to a normal hospital ward, and they took me down via, I'm not sure, in a wheelchair. And that was not fun, because I had to sit up out of the hospital gurney. That was painful, but it's over in a blink of an eye, and then you're in another bed. And I just laid down and watched some movies. The next 3 days is pretty sweet. Everybody else was in school, and I wasn't. And for some of you, you might be out of school for a couple of weeks. I was out of school for a couple of months, just because I was a little lazy. But I mean, they had spring break, so I probably would have been out of school for about a month and a half or so. And so yeah, movies, eating as much as you want. They really encourage you to eat and get back to normal as fast as possible so you can bounce back quickly and get on a routine, because routine is key in recovering. Otherwise, you're just going through the motions and you're sluggishly going through life, and recovery is not fun if that's the case. So routine is key. And it wasn't fun to eat. All of the medications work around in your stomach, and it makes you not hungry at all, honestly, and kind of nauseous a lot. So they encouraged me to eat as much as I wanted to, but I ate a little bit here and there of hospital food. Not my favorite, but might be better where you are, hopefully. And then I had an orange popsicle. Those were my favorites. And orange Gatorade. I like orange flavored everything. And so then I went home, and that, after 2 weeks, I say, is the safe point. That's not really a safe point, but of sorts. It's just when, after 2 weeks, that's when you're back to normal. That's when you will be able to sit up without a pillow. That's when you'll be able to eat as much as you want, whenever you want. You'll be able to go up and down the stairs without holding someone's hand. You're fully independent by that point, I think. But then the following month and a half, why it takes so long to get back into school is because you can't sit up without getting dizzy and tired. Because I had a in-home tutor. She didn't like stay in my home, but she came to my house, and she taught me math and all of my other subjects. She brought the work to me from school. So I was able to do that work, and then she taught me math, thank goodness. Otherwise, I would have been a lost cause. You should be able to get that, your parents work it out. And it wasn't overwhelming. They take it step by step. And so I went back to school when I felt that I was all caught up and I wouldn't be overwhelmed by the instruction and have so many things going on at once. And when I could sit up without a pillow, which takes 2 weeks, you're able to do it for short amounts of time, but it still carries on where you have to, sit up, but you still need a pillow for long periods of time. And your back just gets weary. It gets painful if you don't have a pillow for a while. So a month and a half, I built up going on walks during days to build up my physical strength, because honestly, I would not have been able to walk around my high school from class to class, would not have been able to have a backpack on my back, even with a couple simple folders, not even textbooks in there. You have to build up your strength, and you have to slowly ease back into a routine, because with your body so, with a makeover basically, it takes some time to build up to that, and it takes time to gain your strength back and to, get accustomed to your new body. So I went back after 2 months, and I was good as new. And then I went back to running 6 months after my surgery. Your doctor might be a little different. After I moved here, I just moved from another state about a year ago. So after I made the last video, it's been a long time. But the doctor here that I see for just normal routine checkups, like annually, I think, he said that in his cases, his patients go back after 2 weeks to school and athletic practices and games. I was like, what? So I don't know if he was bluffing or what, but it might be a little different everywhere, all across the country, the world. So it all depends. It's very relative. But hopefully your experience, I know your experience will be smooth sailing for the most part. There are hiccups, there are obstacles, but this surgery is a very minor part of your life. It impacts your life a lot, and you'll never be the same again after that. But it's not as intimidating as it seems. It's just a few days, just a couple months out of a long, happy, healthy life, and this is the key to that happy, healthy life. So, yeah. Hopefully this video series has helped. It has spanned a whole year. Sorry about that, but it's concluded now. And I'm sitting here a year and a half later, actually. It's the summer, got my swimsuit on. I'm able to do normal everyday things. And I was able to do those things very quickly after my surgery. Within a couple months, I was back to new, bounced back quickly. And that'll be you. So this is just a little blip on the radar and something you'll get through, something you'll conquer and rock. And I know you can do this. So hopefully this video series has helped you. Comment any questions you might have. I'm not sure how often I'll be on this channel, but thanks for sticking with me throughout this. Bye, guys.